Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Monday the 3rd of February 2020. I'm just enjoying a nice cup of peppermint tea in my glorious bowler hat and moustache mug. Excuse me. I love this mug. It's the moustache, but also the hat as well. I do like my hat. Got favourite orange hat on today. I think if I'd been, well, and you can still buy bowler hats, but if I'd been around in the time when guys, wore bowler hats everywhere, I definitely would have had a bowler hat, I'm sure of it. Hey, listen, a couple of things. One is, I may have mentioned this yesterday. If you've seen my vlog that I talked about a couple of days ago about some of the running shoes, if you're interested in that New Balance 5280 racing shoe, get on New Balance quick because it is selling out fast. Another thing, this is a bit cheeky. I didn't run the cross-border 10k at the week yesterday because of my runner's knee, and the knee is feeling so much better again. There's no pain now at all. So I'm nearly back to running, which is great. I just want a couple of days with zero pain, and then I'm going to go out running. So if it feels good tomorrow and during the day on Wednesday and the weather's okay, I'm actually thinking I might go down the running track on Wednesday evening and just do a few laps, nothing major, because I was planning on doing like 5Ks, like a 5K every Wednesday. I'm not going to do that. I'll just do a few laps, just warm the legs up, see how it feels, and build up from there. So I'm not going to go mad. I know 5K is not like a massive distance, but when you're coming back from an injury, it's any distance is potentially could be fatal. So you just have to take it very easily. But yeah, no pain in the leg, so that's great. But what's cheeky is I've looked at it just before I started this. I just had an email through from the people who organised the cross-border 10k, saying, great result from running in the race yesterday. Here's 10% off if you want to enter next year. I didn't actually run. The thing is, I gave my somebody else ran with my bib number and my chip, but they didn't have the ability to change the details to them. So it registered as if it was me. So if you look at the cross-border results, you'll see me on there, Spencer Bowden. I'm not sure what, I didn't actually know what, I didn't look. I didn't see what number I apparently came in at, but the time was something like 51 minutes and however many seconds. So, but it wasn't me, I was in bed. So, just hilarious. It makes me laugh. That's not a bad time actually. I've run a 10k a little bit faster than that, but that might have been a good time for me on the day. So, it just makes me laugh. I was lying in bed and it shows that I ran a 10k of 51 minutes. That's quite funny. So, but yeah, a bit cheeky. I've got a 10% off code. So yeah, I'll have to having a think about whether I want to use it or not, because actually I've got a bit of an aversion to horrible weather. People at my club, and there's people out there that will say, well, you can run in the rain, your skin's waterproof. Yeah, it might be, but my clothes aren't. And this is how people get bloody colds and pneumonia and stuff. So I don't like I've said this before, I don't like walking in the rain. Running in the rain is just, it's not for me. So doing a race this time of year is probably a stupid idea for someone like me that doesn't like the bad weather. So I might give next year's a miss anyway, just on principle of the fact that it's probably going to be pouring down with rain. So hey, we'll see. I've got time to make the decision, but yeah, I just thought it was funny and a bit cheeky that I've now got a code to get 10% off. Anyway, listen, what I wanted to talk about tonight, and I've touched on this before. It's actually food. Do you know what? It's talking about what the sort of things that I eat. So. I'm not, you can obviously see, I'm not an overweight guy. I'm quite sucking my cheeks in there. I used to be a lot bigger. I don't get on scales ever really. The last time I was weighed was at the doctor's. Oh my God. Around about my 50th birthday, because I had a free. If you're in the UK, when you turn 50. You will get sent if you're not there yet, you will get, hopefully you'll still get this, you'll get sent a message. I think I got mine on an email or something, or it might come through, I've got an app for like my GP app, I think it might come through there, offering you a free health checkup with your doctor. And you go along and they do you know how to talk. It's like height, weight, BMI. Again, I've mentioned this before. BMI I take with a pinch of salt because it's supposed to tell you whether you're, ideal weight, underweight. I don't know what the categories are, but let's say it's like underweight, ideal weight, overweight, obese, probably like clinically obese, and dead. Probably, I don't know what the. But if you think, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was winning Mr. Universe every year, would have technically, with like 3% body fat, would technically have been clinically obese on the BMI scale, just because of the size, how much he weighed. He was about my height. He was around about 6 foot tall. And he was probably weighing in at 19 or 20 stone. And the vast majority of that was muscle. Okay, we now know it was brought on by steroid use, but he wasn't an obese guy. And whoever's the current, Mr. Universe and whatever, will be in exactly the same boat. And people that do powerlifting and stuff, these people aren't obese, and yet, according to BMI, they are. So there's better ways of telling whether you're, overweight or not, frankly. But yeah, so they check that. They take blood and they check your, kidney function, liver function. They're looking to see whether you've got diabetes. They check all sorts of stuff. And then they can tell things like, your risk of heart disease and all sorts of stuff. And mine came out phenomenally well. You always worry a little bit, I think, when you go to the doctor. Even if you're going because you don't feel like you have to, because you don't know what they're going to find, do you? So I guess in some respects it's obviously better to know if you've got something wrong with you than not, because then you can put it right. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'll get onto food in a minute. Yeah, so so I'm not overweight. I used to weigh a lot more. Years ago, I gradually built up to about 15.5 stone in body weight. And when they weighed me, I was just under 13. I think I was like 12 stone, 13 pounds. I was literally just under 13 stone. So I was happy because I thought I weighed more. I thought I was going to be about 14 stone. I've gradually been going in notches on belts. My clothes, I've got trousers that when I bought them originally, I was on the borderline of like kidding myself that they fitted me around the waist. You know what it's like? Guys out there, there's going to be guys out there that will watch this and will know exactly what I'm talking about. You go along to a clothing shop and you kid yourself that, oh yeah, I'm a 32 or I'm a 34 or whatever, and you struggle into some trousers and you're kind of sucking your stomach in a little bit to do them up. It wasn't quite as bad as that, but they were, I had trousers that were, I wouldn't want to put on any more weights, let's put it that way. And now I can, they need taking in. I need at least a size down. I've got a pair of trousers I could probably go down 2 sizes in. And I was measuring myself, getting a tape measure, putting it across your back. If you put it across and you need to be completely honest with yourself when you do this, right? So otherwise it's pointless. Put the tape measure across your back, and you want to measure the fattest part of your waist, which is usually around about where your belly button is. And that measurement for me in the last year has gone down by 7 inches, which may not sound like a lot, but if you get a tape measure and put it around you, and then add on the 7 inches, it's a lot. And that's all fat. I haven't lost any muscle in there. That's all fat, and it's a lot of fat. So. I'm really pleased with that. Now, part of that is exercise. Part of that, obviously, I've lost a bit more since I started running not that long ago, back in September. It's gone down. not loads, another inch and a half or something. But prior to that, I wasn't really doing any more exercise than I had been doing, and actually I changed jobs. I used to work for a bit in a warehouse where I was walking all day long, and in fact, I was walking like 8 miles a day at work, just walking around the warehouse, right? To a job where I'm sat on my arse all day. I was going to say fat arse. Well, let's say that. I'm sat on my fat arse all day at a desk, right? I walk 7 minutes to work, I come home for lunch, I go back, and then I walk home, and then I walk down into town to the supermarket, the supermarché. So not masses of exercise. Yes, I meditate, yes, I do yoga, yes, I go running. I do walk other times. At the weekends, I'll go out walking. And I do a couple of other things, a few other little strength exercises, but not like masses of exercise. I know that's more than some people, but yeah, it's not huge. And yet I've still lost loads of weight. And a lot of it is actually literally down to what I'm putting in my mouth, frankly. And what do I? God, we're 11 minutes in. I haven't even started talking about food yet. This is crazy. I need to stop talking and start talking. I need to focus. So what am I eating? I don't get tired. I don't feel like I'm out of energy or anything like that. If anything, I feel great. And I've talked about this a little bit before. I'm plant-based. So what is plant-based? To me, it's basically vegan without the screaming. So what I mean by that is, if I go out somewhere and I see somebody eating a great big greasy meaty burger with bacon hanging out of it and cheese and drinking a gallon of milk, I'm not going to come up to you and go, murderer, meat is murder. You can eat what you. I was going to say what the F you. You can eat what the F you like. If you want to shove that stuff in your face, go right ahead. But I don't. I don't do that. I used to eat a lot of chicken, turkey, fish. I loved fish. Oh my God, a fish finger sandwich was just like heaven with salad cream. Oh my God, fish finger sandwich, toasted bread, fish fingers, salad cream. Oh Jesus. Bit of pepper, sometimes even some cheese in there. Christ almighty. Or even better, a freaking fried egg. A fried egg in a. Oh my God! A fried egg in a fish finger sandwich is like. It's like the holy grail of like the of food. But I don't eat any of that stuff anymore. I've never really been hot on milk. Years and years ago, when I was a kid at school. I'm 50, so I was at school when they used to have a milk monitor, and there'd be a crate of milk delivered by the milkman in the morning, I guess, in little glass bottles with the silver tops on, and then someone would come around and shove a straw through all the tops, and then this thing would sit just in the classroom, right? In winter, yeah, not so bad. It's by a radiator, mind you, so you don't want one from the left-hand side of the crate because it's getting a bit warm. In the summer, that crate's in full sunlight till you get given your milk, it's been sat there for 3 hours. So, good luck. I got this given this bottle of milk, and I wasn't really a big milk drinker anyway, right? So I'm given this thing, and it's like the teacher's like, you got to drink your milk. I'm like, I really don't want to drink this. Well, you can't go out to play or anything till you drunk your milk. So I was kind of, however old I was, I don't know, 6 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, forced to drink this flipping bottle of disgustingly rank, warm milk that was horrible. And I puked everywhere. So, and that stuff gets in your head, and it's just like, I just associate drinking cow's milk with vomiting, frankly. So so there we are. But I love plant-based. Apparently, you're not allowed to call it milk, are you? It's not milk. What plant-based milk substitute, if you like. I don't care. Oat milk is fucking amazing. Almond milk's great. Rice milk is actually fine. It's just like, let's be honest, someone's just got some rice that they've sieved underwater and you're drinking the water, but it tastes nice. So yeah, don't eat meat anymore. Don't eat any kind of dairy. Don't eat eggs. And just live on pretty much what is technically a vegan diet. But there is there's different kinds of plant-based living. So sometimes you see people talking about, I tried to go vegan for a week and it was horrible, or I tried to go vegan for a month and there was nothing to eat, or I was eating this stuff and I just felt really sluggish and blah. I guess technically it's not for them. We're all human, but we're all different. We're all individual. Some people different people thrive on different things. Of course they do. But within the plant-based arena, if you like, there's lots of different things that you can eat. So I eat loads of fibre. And when I say loads, I mean loads. Sometimes I take a poop 4 times a day, right? That's how much fibre I eat. And trust me, it's not diarrhea, but this is a terrible thing to talk about, isn't it? But I just like to be honest. It's firm, but it's not hard, and it just comes out like silk, frankly. It's the greatest thing in the world. So I eat a ton of fibre. I eat loads of green vegetables. I eat loads of vegetables, full stop, but I love my green veggies. I used to hate sprouts when I was a kid. Sprouts are great. I eat loads of fruit. Although it's a lot of apples, satsumas this time of year, easy peelers, although how easy to peel are easy peelers, really. That's a topic for another day. Blueberries, oh my God, I love blueberries. Any kind of berry, absolutely great. Unless it's a BlackBerry phone, throw that away. What else? I'll tell you what I don't eat. And I make my own bread. So I get like really nice flour, like wholemeal flour start with seed, and I put loads of seeds in there and oats, and make my own bread. I don't eat much sugar. Yes and no. I eat natural sugars, but what I don't like doing is having too much unrefined sugar. Sorry, refined sugar. So if I'm going to eat something and I know it's, some of the main ingredients are like sugar or glucose fructose syrup or whatever, I generally say no, I don't want to eat that. Even if technically it's a healthy, supposed to be a healthy vegan food, if someone's stuffed a load of sugar in it, personally I don't want to eat it. What else? I try not to eat too much processed stuff. So you can be what's technically, I guess, called dirty vegan. So you could live on chips and plant-based ice cream, and technically you're vegan, but it's not going to do you much good. You could have a chip sandwich every day for dinner, and you're vegan, but why would you do that? Of course you're going to feel sluggish. If all you're doing is going down the supermarché and instead of buying a meaty burger, you're buying a plant-based alternative burger, why are you still eating crap, basically? Somebody said something, and you can eat some of that stuff. I do occasionally eat some of those things, although I'm not a big fan of these like meat substitute things. So I'm not bothered about eating a steak. Why would I want to eat a bloody fake steak? I'm not interested. I'd rather have, a load of vegetables and brown rice and you know what I mean. It's like it's so much nicer. It's so tasty. The food is so good. Lentils, beans, peas, all sorts of stuff, legumes. You know, it's just there's so many things you can eat. When you walk into a supermarket, that first section that you come to, pretty much usually, is the produce aisle. I have been in a couple of supermarkets, and I think I've got a funny feeling that Asda used to be like this. I'm not sure if they still are because I haven't been in one for years, but they used to have their produce section at the end in one I went in before. But you go into a typical supermarket, and the first thing you come to is the produce area. So it's all the fruit, all the veg. You could fill your trolley just from that section and eat loads of food, loads of really good food, before you've even gone down any of those aisles with all the fat and all the sugar. You don't need any of that crap. And some of that stuff is accidentally vegan because it's got no meat in it, it's got no dairy in it. But do you really want to eat that stuff? Some people, okay, some people do, but it's crap. So yeah, I eat what to me is good, healthy, honest food. You don't have to. There's a bit of a thing at the moment, especially with certain people in the world who say, "Oh yeah, but you know, you're eating like avocados, but they're being imported from Venus, so your carbon footprint is like massive." You don't have to eat them, and you can get a lot of local fruit and veg. That's completely seasonal. You can go on Google right now and type in seasonal vegetables UK or local seasonal vegetables, and a massive list will come up of stuff that's available right now, even in February, and it would have done in every month of the year. That you can go down to your local farmer's market or a market and buy locally produced, good, honest vegetables and fruit that will fill you up, give you all the nutrients that you need. People go on about plant-based. Another big one that people always go on about with plant-based people is, where'd you get your protein? I can guarantee you I am not protein deficient, right? There is not a queue. When you go to the doctors, right? If I don't know whether, if I ever go to my doctor, which is bloody rare, it's usually because they've invited me in for something. There is not a queue of people waiting to be seen because they're protein deficient. They're not there. They're not there. They're not at my doctor. They're not at your doctor. They're not at the hospital. These people don't exist, right? You're more likely to find people who are at the doctors because they've got constipation or irritable bowel syndrome or some other thing, because they're fibre deficient, right? I'm completely the opposite of fibre deficient. People aren't protein deficient. A lot of people on this planet actually are fibre deficient. So stop worrying about where people are getting their protein from, and worry more about where you're getting your fibre from, frankly. But I'll get off my soapbox now anyway. But yeah, so it's like a vegan without the screaming, but get your fibre. So, hey, listen, I've whittled on. This has gone on far too long, and I've probably not really given you any much information. But all I would say is, a great man once said, you should eat food that's from a plant, that's come... What is it? God almighty, I need to get this right. Eat food that's made by a plant, not in a plant, right? Does that make sense? So, food that's made by a plant, but not in a plant. So don't eat processed crap. It won't do you any good. It's usually full of salt, sugar, fat that you don't need. If you go into a supermarket right now and pick up something, even in the healthy food section, if it's got any kind of coconut-based item in it, it's probably packed full of saturated fat. So put it back. You don't need that crap. There's plenty of other things you can eat, and you will. I think everyone would benefit from it. But you eat what you like. I don't care. You don't need to comment below and say, "Oh, I love meat." If you do, I'll just say, "Great, well done." But yeah, wherever you are, hope you're having a great day. I'm having a great tea. Peppermint tea is a killer. It's so good. If you're going out running, stay safe. Watch out for cars. I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.